Hello, so today is Saturday and Johan and Esther and Hannah and Joseph have all gone to a market. Johan does like a Christian book table and Hannah for the first time is trying to sell some of her baking. So she was up early this morning cooking some muffins and she'd already had some stuff that she'd got ready. So they're going to be away for kind of over half the day. So today I've got a few jobs I want to do because it's been so busy lately, and this last week has been really busy just finishing off at school. I went on a school trip with Hannah and with the boy that I teacher aid, and we had finished off preschool. We had a trip to the park, finished off my Bible lessons for the year, and then on Monday Lydia fell off the monkey bars at school and knocked 3 of her teeth out. Your teeth gone?
Yep.
Can you show us? She lost her 2 top teeth and 1 down the bottom, but thankfully they were just baby teeth, so it doesn't really matter. But still going to take her to the dentist next week just to get it checked out in case there are problems in the future. Okay, we're done now. So yeah, it's just been busy finishing off everything, and in my home it seems like everywhere I look there are things that need sorting or cleaning or decluttering or organising. So today my priority is to just get some of those areas tidied up so that they don't make me feel stressed, and so that I enjoy being at home. So when it's just so busy you can't always keep everything the way you like it, because the priority is to get out the door on time and to do a good job what you're doing. But today I can make that a priority, and so I'm going to show you some of my areas that are messy and show you before and after picture, and that's partly just to keep me motivated and focused. But maybe it'll also motivate you to tackle areas in your home or get on top of things that maybe make you feel overwhelmed. Oh, and I'm also going to share what I've been thinking this week about giving. And I'm not talking about giving presents, but just giving like your time or your energy. So I'll talk about that as well in a verse that has been challenging to me. So the photos that I show, some of them are just the mess, like from Hannah baking and breakfast, but then there are other areas that are just really need a tidy up. Well, I've cleaned off the kitchen, well, most of it. Now I'm going to start with the easiest place, which is the bookcase. It's just things that don't belong there. Lydia's just watching a little bit of Bananas for a little while. It's her favourite show. Do you like Bananas? And it is very hard to get anything done with Lydia because she just wants to play games. So keep her busy for a little bit. So yesterday I had a few bananas that needed using up, and I had a rest already, but I just felt really sleepy and tired. I don't usually feel sleepy during the day, but on this day I did. I could have easily just gone to sleep. So I really didn't feel like making them, but they needed to be used up. I thought, oh, I'll just make myself do it. So I made the muffins. And afterwards I realised I'd forgotten to put sugar in. Are they yummy?
Yeah.
They do have banana and chocolate chips, so hopefully that's still right. But I'd made them to take out to the school closing, but I didn't want to take them with no sugar. Is it yummy, Dad?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, not too bad. This looks much better. One way, like I get a lot of paper clutter around here, so one way I make it look not so bad is to stick it in here. Then they're not just all over the surfaces, it keeps it tidy and you can't see it so much. So I'm going to share a verse about giving, and I was praying about giving a particular thing or whatever, and this was the answer God gave me. And it's quite funny because I just had lunch with Lydia, and we have this tiny little daily light, and I went to read it, and I started reading for today's date, and here was this exact same verse again. And then I looked up, and I was in November instead of December, and I was on number 17 instead of number 16. But it was just what I needed to read. I love it how God does that sometimes. Okay, so this verse, which is from Proverbs 11:24-6 and verse 28. There is that scattereth and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty. The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself. He that withholdeth corn, the people shall curse him, but blessing shall be upon the head of him that selleth it. And then verse 28, he that trusteth in his riches shall fall, but the righteous shall flourish as a branch. So it says that there is that scattereth and yet increaseth. So sometimes when we give, it is as if we are scattering what we have, and yet this verse says that yet there will be increase. And some simple ways of saying the verse, same verse, this is a New Living Translation. Give freely and become more wealthy. Be stingy and lose everything. The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. People curse those who hoard their grain, but they bless the one who sells in time of need. Trust in your money and down you go, but the godly flourish like leaves in spring. And the Living Bible says it is possible to give away and become richer. It is also possible to hold on too tightly and lose everything. Yes, the liberal man shall be rich. By watering others, he waters himself. People curse the man who holds his grain for higher prices, but they bless the man who sells it to them in their time of need. Trust in your money and down you go. Trust in God and flourish as a tree. So when I read that after praying about whether I should give, that just kind of answered my question. Sometimes that is very hard to give, especially if it's something that we kind of need for ourselves. But if you think of the widow of Zarephath, she didn't even have enough food for herself and for her son. She only had enough for one meal, and Elijah asked her to give. But when she trusted God's word, God's promise, and she obeyed, God took care of her. And one time I was praying I was afraid to give, and I saw that song, God Will Take Care of You. And if we're giving in obedience to God, if he puts it on our heart and we obey, then we can guarantee that he will take care of us. But it might be very hard to let go and to give. And when I say give, it can be your time. Sometimes we're just very busy and have little time to spare. Sometimes it might be money. Sometimes it might be your energy or other things. Those are just three things that come to my mind. So the widow of Zarephath had to trust God's promise. And this last week I went on a school trip, and we went to a rock climbing place. And so the kids were had a harness on, and they would climb up really high, and then they had to let go and trust the harness to get them safely and slowly down again. And one of the school teachers told the children how God's word is like that harness. We have to trust it, and we have to let go, and it can be very hard to trust because we can't feel like God's not going to catch us, or we might feel like God might not keep his promises, but he promises that he does not fail us, and his promise does not fail. So we need to trust God's word, and that's also when God tells us to give. So if God's asking you to give in whatever way, you can trust that if you obey, he will provide for you, even if you feel like you don't have enough to give away. And one example of that, just thinking back over this last year I started a teacher aide job 2 mornings a week, and so that has made me very busy. And I remember thinking at the end of the year and actually saying on one of my blogs, I don't know if I'll be able to keep vlogging this year because I just won't have much time. And I gave that time to God, and so many times I've prayed to God, if you want me to make a video this week, you'll have to help me because I just don't. My phone just ran out of storage, so now I've got to remember where I was up to. But I was saying how at the beginning of the year, how I didn't know if I'd be able to make videos, and because I was very busy, and there are times that I would pray to God, if you want me to make a video, then you'll have to help me, because I don't have the time, or I just don't have the motivation or something to share. And so many times God did help me, and I think nearly every single week I have had that type of video to put out, which to me is amazing, because it's only because God helped me. And also I wrote three books that I've gotten published, thin books, and 2 picture books as well, and I've just about got another 2 picture books and another devotional as well, which is not quite published yet. But to me, it just shows how much God can do when we just give Him our time. We can do way more than what we think is possible. So whatever it is that God asks us to give, we should give willingly, even when it feels like we don't even have enough. And I know we have to be careful not to neglect our family, because we want to do so much for others. But if it is God that is putting that thing on our mind or on our heart to do, then we can trust that He will take care of us if we obey Him. And that's why we need to be prayerful about anything new that comes along, like any commitments or giving away our time or our money or our energy, because if it's God that puts that on our heart to do, then He will take care of us.